We have some new leaks to talk about here for Modern Warfare, both for multiplayer, potentially the rest of Season 2, but most likely maps. We will be seeing remade maps coming in Season 3. That would be more specifically HARDHAT and SCRAPYARD, two maps that we would definitely want to see within this game, but also, again, updating you guys on some Warzone information. What is the status of Warzone? What is going on? We're still receiving leaks. We'll give you guys an update as to really when we're expecting Warzone at this point. Obviously, it is Tuesday, February 25th. Today was a day a bunch of people were talking about something potentially happening with Warzone. Definitely no release, so obviously we didn't see a release today. Charlie Intel did also say, just to set expectations, Warzone is not available today. Someone responded to them and said, what about tomorrow, which is Wednesday, or Thursday, maybe Friday? And that's actually pretty important, not just random days there. Thursday especially is the beginning of PAX East. It's February 27th. Another day people were talking about as a possibility to see Warzone release a part of PAX East, and Charlie Intel flat out responds no. I think at this point, this is not Charlie Intel just saying, oh, don't believe the leaks, don't believe the rumors, because there have been several times where we've had credible leaks and Charlie Intel usually doesn't report on them. With Modern Warfare aside, if you look back a couple of years ago, most leaks that especially the Game Revolution brought us within Black Ops 3, and any leak we saw in a past game, Charlie Intel never really talked about it unless it was really a widespread leak. Now this is them covering leaks. They know what's going on a bit more, and at least it seems like they're a bit more open to talk about leaks. But I think they're saying no as an honest answer because, let's be honest, Charlie Intel definitely knows at this point officially when the release of Warzone is going to be, because they're a part of the group of influencers that are either going to be revealing Warzone early or at least hyping it up. Charlie Intel has been sent stuff time and time again, and they're just considered another one of the influencers, just like the YouTubers and the streamers. So they probably know for sure, okay, Warzone is releasing on this day, and let's just ease all of the rumors, let's ease all of the spam that we get, and let's just say flat out it's not coming this week. And I think that's not big of a deal. It's not that big of a surprise. I mean, people were saying it was possible, but I think what Charlie Intel here is saying we have to look at, and we have to be honest, it's not going to release this week. And March 3rd or the 10th were the two main days that we were talking about regardless. So this day or this week was just sort of this spin-off, this hopeful idea that we had, but it looks like it's not going to happen at this point. Let's go through here. Let's talk about some leaks for multiplayer for a second, and then we'll go back over to Warzone and some more information we're getting on that as well. Shout out to the Raratoman. I'll leave a link down to his channel in the description below. He gave me a bunch of leaks here from his source. There's a bunch of stuff here that we're going to talk about. We've seen variations of these leaks before. There are a bunch of new Warzone leaks that we'll probably talk about tomorrow, but the two multiplayer maps here I do want to highlight because there's code names for them here, SCRAPYARD and HARDHAT. I feel like SCRAPYARD was something we sort of already knew about, and we were expecting it to come to the game at some point. I was more thinking Season 2 because Rust was being introduced as well, and you know, Season 2 seems like that MW2 theme. Season 1, we're all COD 4 remix, so I thought Season 2 maybe MW2 remix, but unfortunately we only have Rust as the main MW2 map. So unless there's a surprise 6v6 map, it looks like this is all Season 3 multiplayer content, mixture of MW2 and MW3 maps. Just to note, these leaks here aren't the end-all be-all for Season 3. There's a lot more content coming for Season 3. I'm not going to say this whole thing is just Season 3 leaks here. It's just hinting that in the code, we have SCRAPYARD, we have HARDHAT, we have other unnamed maps as well, but the unnamed maps, it's really hard for me to talk about to you guys because we really have no concept as to what they could be. These are the maps that they're just creating in their studio, no relation to Spec Ops, no relation to any past Call of Duty game. The names of the code usually change at some point anyway, so there's no point in even going through that, but SCRAPYARD and HARDHAT, definitely two maps. HARDHAT was something I've been talking about for a while now. I was saying back before Modern Warfare released, there's a huge leak, bunch of maps were leaked, and HARDHAT was not on that list. It seems like now it's there. I think that was an obvious pick anyway. Definitely let me know down below, what would you be more hyped for? I mean, it looks like we're seeing both of these maps, but I would say HARDHAT. So either HARDHAT or SCRAPYARD, what map are you more hyped for? And if for some reason you don't like these two maps, there's a good chance that we're going to see other remakes added to this game, whether or not it's in Season 3 or Season 4. Let's go back to talking about some Warzone leaks here. So officially in the game, you have have this up on screen. Now in the game, it still says classified above this here, and this is just without the classified text. Transmission incoming. People are looking into this. This is obviously a sign that Warzone is releasing very soon. They're getting ready to prepare, and they're gonna start doing different stuff, modifying this menu. We'll probably see this menu modified a couple of more, maybe every couple of days now, until we get closer and closer to the release. This is actually from a tweet from Ghost here. He's talking to the Game Revolution, and he says there are 3 pluses on each side, so it might be on March 3rd. And people have been going through this March 3rd thing for a while now. There was this clan tag glitch that was hinting at March 3rd, a bunch of different things with people just seeing March 3rd on different menus and stuff like that. And he responds, which is pretty reasonable, probably just formatting to look cool. Now, I do have to agree with this here. I can't look at everything and relate it to March 3rd. I know there's been a lot of different March 3rd stuff, and I think the video that I went through yesterday, where I go through specific storyline stuff from the game, and it's all saying that March 3rd, 2020, this chaos is happening. The city of Verdansk is in this huge downfall. There's soldiers, explosions everywhere. I think that's the biggest hint that we've ever seen within Modern Warfare itself that's outside a leak that is hinting at March 3rd. This thing here, it's interesting as well, but I mean, it may not actually have a direct correlation to the release date of Warzone, but it's pretty interesting that that's in the Warzone menu, and March 3rd was something we've been talking about for a while now. So I would definitely keep your eye on that menu and continue to check it out when we see any new playlist updates, or really any day in which there's a change to Modern Warfare. We should check that menu and different parts of the game, because they've definitely been teasing it within the game. We just really need to figure out how they've been teasing it, and what are teasers towards Warzone, and what's just random stuff they may be trolling us with. That might be a thing there where, you know, Infinity Ward put it in and they knew we would look into it, and they knew we would think March 3rd, but it's not actually a March 3rd release date indicator there. Some actual leaks from the Game Revolution. He goes into some stuff with some Battle Royale features here, expanding upon what we've been talking about, especially with the Gulag, one of the main differentiators for this Battle Royale. So when you die in Warzone and you're sent to the Gulag prison, you're placed within jail cells whilst waiting for your turn to a 1v1 match. While waiting in the cells, you'll be able to view the 1v1 taking place and throw rocks at them, although the rocks do not affect them, which I definitely don't agree with. I think it should be this really fun situation where you can have someone teaming up on one player. Why not add some fun outside elements, some friendly competition? Maybe if the guy doesn't have a good skin, you want him to lose the 1v1 for some reason. You start throwing all these different rocks, and it slowly hurts him. Not like a huge impact, but just something for it to be a noticeable impact in the actual 1v1. But also at the same side, I feel like if I'm in that 1v1, I don't want any distractions. I want to get back into the game, because the 1v1 is a pretty high stake there. You can get back into the Battle Royale game, and getting back into the Battle Royale game could mean huge things. You continue to earn your plunder. You can get first place and win a ton of plunder, beat your challenges, put your plunder back in the bank. Like, there's a lot of stuff at stake there. Maybe not, but I feel like I just want it to be as fun and as interesting as possible. I also want it to be so people are staying and sticking within these lobbies, so that the Gulag is a part of the game they're actually excited to get into. Because if you really think about it, you could die in Warzone and just back out and just get into another lobby and quickly get to first place, you know, maybe even faster than having to go through the Gulag, wait for your match, wait for all the rounds to go through, bet for different players. Maybe you don't want to do all of that for some reason. So there's got to be some reward for staying in the game. Obviously, a pretty big reward for winning the 1v1 matches, and just for sticking around and not backing out, going into a different lobby, and just as easily restarting your challenges, going for first place again, getting new plunder and all of that different stuff. So he also goes on to say here, the winner of the 1v1 makes it back into the map and joins their teammates, which is information we already know about for this game. And I think at this point, we really do know everything we need to know about Warzone. The leaks that I'm going to be going through tomorrow are just lines of code that we actually don't know. So maybe I lied, not everything has been leaked for the game, but my point is the main parts of Warzone have been leaked, like the weapons, the main gameplay features, the main parts of Warzone, like the Gulag and stuff like that. We pretty much know what this game is going to be all about. Now, the actual specifics, which I'll be going through tomorrow, a bunch of different specifics, free to play, actual lines of code, like what happens when you try to get into the Warzone lobby and you can't because you don't have the full game, you try to back out, and it says it gives certain prompts for, you know, players not having the full version of Modern Warfare. That obviously hints at free to play. A bunch of different lines of code for the different maps within the game as well, so the different bundles that you can get. There's a lot of specific stuff, but those aren't really important pieces of information if you really want to know about Warzone and the main features. The main features, I I think for at least most of the people interested in Warzone, have been covered already. So the next couple of days as we make videos, we're really just updating you guys and figuring out and fine-tuning exactly when we're going to see Warzone this week. It honestly looks like it's a wrap. I mean, at this point, I just don't see anything happening. I didn't expect any releases this week regardless. The media embargo, I guess, is still very possible, but I'm really not even so sure about that either at this point. PAX East is definitely a good indicator that we could see something this weekend, but most of the time, what is really revealed at PAX East? Has Call of Duty done anything at PAX East in the past? No, they've done nothing. They haven't even revealed any Call of Duties. I mean, we're getting to the point where they could maybe tease the next Call of Duty, but they're not going to do that at PAX East. They've never done anything at PAX East. Now, maybe you can make the case we're in a unique situation because they have a Battle Royale releasing sort of in the beginning of 2020, a weird time frame for them. So that could be an interesting situation. This is a different time for them, but do they really need the marketing from PAX East? I think they could do just as well on their own, just dropping Battle Royale and bringing it to the masses, releasing a trailer, and that's it. They really don't even need PAX East at that point, and it's not really likely for them to be able to do sort of a play Warzone at PAX East. They would need live, so many different people. It's a 200-player lobby, at least according to the leaks. They would need 200 people there at PAX East, or at least 150 close to it, to get a full lobby, to simulate that, and that's probably impossible. So at this point, next week or the week after, March 3rd, March 10th, we're getting close. It's going to be cool. And yeah, get ready, guys. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys later.